Hello there, my YouTube family. Thank you for joining me. I'm Helen Sattler, your Destiny Helper, coming to you as usual now that we've started our live video on Thursday night in the late evening. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. Many of you have written me. I did my last video on the narcissistic family, and it is the chaos of being drawn or lured into a narcissist family, and where you are the game piece and the whole family is involved with playing with your mind. And when you try to get away, the entire family turn on you, where there are many variables to belonging to a narcissist family or coming out of one, and it either way is devastating. And many narcissists, especially when you have two narcissists, usually produce an empath, which is so ironic, or they produce another narcissist. A narcissist in a family is usually birthed out of a family of narcissists. Hello there, how are you, Sheila? So glad to have you on board. Thank you for being with us on this evening. Sheila, we are talking about the family of a narcissist, or coming out of the family of a narcissist, or belonging to a family of the narcissist, especially when you're older, which go under the aged narcissist, because when they get older, they get worse usually what they were before, and it can be quite devastating to the child of the narcissist. And so this is what we're going to talk about tonight. Who else do we have? Sheila said, I am well and glad to be here. I am so glad that you're here. I really appreciate this moment with you. So as you come in, thank you so much for being with us. And we are talking about this subject, which is a tremendous subject. Many of you that came out of a narcissistic family, you have a beacon, or you have a frequency to draw this kind of attention. You draw the narcissist, and you find out that growing up in the family. Hello, Cassie, how are you? Thank you for joining us on tonight. So Cassie and Sheila, we're talking about coming out of a narcissist family. So tell me, if any of you came out of a narcissist family. Hello there, Joy Star, how are you? Thank you for joining us. How many of you actually came out of a narcissist family and the devastation that it took? So or you were involved with a narcissist and their family. Hello there. Nikki, how are you? She said, my dad was a narcissist. Whoa. So that was quite tremendous. Nikki, right. Some of the things that you may have been through belonging to a narcissist family. What devastation came on you? How was it? Because children that are a narcissist, they usually have a very nervous system because of what they've been through. She said, no, I suffered abuse, and it made me an empath. Believe it or not, empaths are born with this sensitivity, and it could be cause of the situation. They say empaths are made. No, it's almost like a calling to be an empath. It's almost like a calling to be an empath, and they're very, very, very sensitive. I pray that you join the register for the conference. The conference is ready. Please go online at Destiny Helper at gmail.com, Destiny Helper at gmail.com, and you're going to find a lot of help, because as the empath, there is a certain amount of responsibility that you feel that belongs to you. The narcissist, when you go to a narcissist family, the narcissist family, one thing they do is overload you. She said, I am an empath. Okay, Joy Star. All right, we got some empaths on here. So let's talk about some of the characteristics of coming out of the family of a narcissist. And Casey said, my daughter's father is a narc. She said, and I've been and I've been in no contact for almost 2 years since she was born. Last month, he came hoovering. See, you are a prime example of what I'm talking about. A lot of people think we're just kidding when we said the narcissist can come years later to hoover you. That is never over. You have to always stay on your guards. You have to always stay shielded up. You have to always stay it up, because sometimes when you get away from the videos, you start lacking sensitivity and you can become very passive and be prone to a hoover and yield to it. She said, I'm still afraid. She said, and their anger. Absolutely. This is Nikki saying she was part of a narcissist family. You know, so that sounds like a lower narcissist or a malignant narcissist. The malignant narcissist crazy, just like a sociopath. They are crazy. They are wild. They are dangerous, and they meditate all day on how to hurt you in the most vicious and vulnerable way. And it's your pain soothes them, your cry soothes them, and it's unfortunately that has to be in the family. Le Dijon says, hi, Helen. I sent an email to Destiny Helper 12S. She said, I am an empath. Since birth, absolutely. She said, my parents have known. My mother is a malignant narcissist, my God, and spiritual abuser, which has devastated me, plus a narc dad. See, you are one of the rarities. You have a malignant narcissist that have to be the female, and then you have a narcissist, which is your dad. So the malignant narcissist is the power cat, and your dad must be the vulnerable narcissist. And see, many times it's the opposite. It's the dad that's the malignant narcissist, and it's the mom that is the vulnerable narcissist, but this is switch. And so you were devastated on all forts, on all grounds. And you know, it's really amazing. And I think what happens is it really takes an empath to be in the midst of two narcissists and survive. Because if you take two narcissists that raise up a narcissist, not impossible, and it does happen, because there's so much pain, so much devastation to the little child goes inside of themselves, and they hide so deep they can't come out. And then now all of this viciousness, all of this anger, all of this fear, all of this insecurity come out. So when you have a house full of narcissists, there's always competition, there's always hate, and nobody loving anybody. So that atmosphere is so thick, it's so dark, and it's cold. And usually when you cold and come inside that atmosphere, it's almost like a cold sweat, a eerie feeling when you get around them, because the whole house is narcissistic, and I mean it's devastating. And so they grow up with each other, tolerating each other, fighting each other, not loving each other. And sometimes what happens is there usually a breaking point. Somebody break, and it's usually the vulnerable narcissists that break, because the vulnerable narcissists give way to oppression and the strength of other narcissists, and they usually get blown out. And the vulnerable narcissists only seek predatory narcissists. That means they seek narcissists that's going to hurt them. That's why if you was raised up in a house where you had a malignant narcissist and you had another narcissist, there's never two strong narcissists. They just clash and they don't make it. So one becomes subjected to the stronger force, and the stronger force makes sure they keep a heavy hand on that narcissist. And then it may take them later to recognize that they're all narcissists. And sometimes it's not an empath that come out, it's another narcissist, because you got a malignant narcissist. The environment is so devastating, it's hard to live, it's hard to breathe, it's hard to exist in an atmosphere like this. So the child goes into themselves, and guess what? Now you got three narcissists. If they have another child, there is a such thing as a family full of narcissists. It's very rare, because the balance is the empath, but there is a thing where there is a family full of narcissists, and they're always fighting. And I mean, like I said, it is so, you walk in that house and you can cut it with a knife, and it feels evil, it feels dark, to the point where the atmosphere feels wet, it feels sticky, it feels gloomy, it almost feels slimy, and you feel feel that you can get hurt at any moment. It is laced with fear, it's laced with devastation. And so you end up getting out of there. And if you end up dating in a family like this and you meet the family, the first time you meet them, you got a flight sensation. Your mind is telling you, get out of there. But the narcissist knows that if they don't hook you, you are going into two narcissist family that have survived the turmoil of competition, hating, biting, fighting on each other, lying to each other, deceiving each other, seeing who can do the most. And then the vulnerable narcissists subject themselves to this kind of treatment, and they display that onto the child. And the child becomes a narcissist, or the child becomes an empath. The empath balances the family out because the empath is the only one that's going to forgive, the only one who's going to help, the only one who's going to love, the only one who's going to care for them. And so this caring becomes fuel for both narcissists. And what happened with the vulnerable narcissist, they compete against the child because usually the malignant narcissist even put that weight upon the child. And so now the vulnerable narcissist, whether it's the mom or dad, hate that child because they feel like something is being taken away from them. But the malignant narcissist come in to protect that child. And he may even make, or she may even make the child the golden child. And so if there's one child, then now the scapegoat becomes the vulnerable narcissist. So the scapegoat is the vulnerable narcissist, and the vulnerable narcissist becomes subjective voluntarily to all of the pain, through all of the suffering. And what happens is that malignant narcissist makes sure that even the way they will exalt that child, the golden child, to take lead, to take rule, even though that child is only 5 years old, that vulnerable narcissist is subject to the child. And this is where the abuse come in. When they go to work, the child is beaten, bitten, or hurt in some form, and the narcissist find out, take all of that out on the vulnerable narcissist, where instead of hurting the vulnerable narcissist invite the pain, because that's how they now survive. Since they can't survive in strength, they can't survive in dominance, then they survive in weakness. So many of you that have been through this may know something about this. What do we have here? We have Orchard say, I was left by my 26-year-old husband after he had an affair. He had abandoned me and his daughter and never contacted her for 2.5 years. He's trying to make my situation work financially through, okay, you are still writing. Let me see, what do we have here? I'll wait till you finish writing. The user, okay. And no, I don't want to be hidden. Orchard, we need to get you back. Okay, I think let me see, report, put user in timeout, unhide. Yeah, we want to unhide you. There you go. There you go, Orchard. She said, okay, there you go. Hello, Edward. How are you? Thank you so much for being with us. She said, we were married for 26 years. You know, unfortunately, it doesn't matter how long you've been married. There are some people who've been married for 63 years, and in the 64th year, they get discarded by the narcissist. Aging narcissist is dangerous because they got so many holes and feelings of hopelessness on the inside of them. And she said, fine, thank you. You are so welcome. And what do we have up here? Sheila said, I was involved with a creature that came from a family of narcissists. Oh, yeah. So when you are with a narcissist and you're engaged in their family, because some narcissists even leave their family. They don't want to be involved in their family because their family can be controlling, and the narcissist himself has to be in control. So some of them find it best to leave their parents so they can get their own level of control, or they get with the family and the family is trained to attach and attack. They attach themselves to the supply, and then everybody love bomb the supply. Then everybody attack the supply. When one attack, they all attack. They're like killer bees. Once a killer bee head for you, the whole regime come after you. So you're stung over and over and over again. And that's the way it is when you're in a narcissistic family. You're stung over and over and over again. And you know the narcissist, that they have a lower attention span. They want excitement, and they cannot be faithful. They'll triangulate because they soon become bored of you no matter how much you cater to them. She said, that is so true. That was my ex-narc. This is Nicole. She said, with the family. She said, no wonder he was always quick to leave when we visit them. Absolutely, because he knew what was going to happen. And see, they would take his control away. And the head of that family, where it was the matriarch or the patriarch, narcissist, they would then engage them, and they are going to establish their presidents. So a lot of times the family, it takes a long time for the narcissist to introduce you to the family. And if they feel that you're going to lose you because you're making demands, then they'll allow you to meet that family. But if you notice, once you met the family, your narcissist became the vulnerable narcissist because they the child. And so they bring you to the family, and the family now attaches to you. And one thing about the family, this is all of this love bombing, all of this caring. Or if they don't like you, they just drop the mask. They just lower you. They devalue you. They devalue you upon entry. And once one attack, they all attack. They make you feel like you're not worth their son. They give off little hints that you need to leave them. And they talk to the son. If the family don't like you, they attach the son. But the son may see something more in you because of the kind of fuel you give off. They're not so willing to let you go because you give good fuel. And the only way you can give good fuel to a narcissist is you have to be subservient. You have to give them maximum attention. You got to let them have their way, and you got to do everything you can like an empath to do for them, to love them and care for them. So they'll make you feel, she said, yeah, a bunch of users. That's exactly what they are. And some narcissist family build their economics on the supply. If they know you have money, they will be with you. They will love bomb you. Then these little needs start coming out. These little things start coming out that they want. And when they start getting like that, the narcissist will actually leave you with them so you can handle it on your own. And you're trying to get them to tell you you feel uncomfortable, you ready to leave. And the narcissist will not take accountability or responsibility for what their family is doing. And then when they come back, they got some lame excuse why they left you to their families to deal with their families. And the whole time the family was weighing you out to see could you moderate in the family, see could you fit in, are you going to contribute? And then they will make you feel obligated for being with the family, that they feel like you should share, do your portion of giving and of taking care of the family, because they will tell you we all do it, we all care for one another. Now you are in the family and we feel that you should do your responsibility. And you thinking, I'm only here an hour, 2 hour, because like Sheila was saying, that was Nicole. Like Nicole was saying, that's why the narc did not want to stay, because they lose position, they lose power. And then once they leave the family, they get their position, they get their power back. And you enable them to go back to a level of strength, because now they'll control you. And usually these people that have two narcissists in the family is very, very, very controlling, almost a smothering controlling. They don't want you to move without them. They don't want you to make major decisions. You're working, you got your own house, you got your own car, so you're to take care of. They want you to talk with them before spending your money. And you're like, your money? This is my money. I had this job before I met you. But they don't care about that. They're all up in your business. And then they'll tell you, you know what? I'm trying to make us marriage business. And you are just on your own. You don't care about me. You don't love me. I need somebody that care about me. I need somebody that love me. And you're like, I love you, but I don't want you to take over my finances. And they say, what you got is yours, and what I have is yours. The only thing is, I never see you share what's yours, and I'm always sharing what's mine. And most of these people that have family like this, that fight these families, a lot of them are good bed partners. I mean, because what do they have? They got to be good at something, because they know when you meet the family, you're going to want to run. You're going to want to take flight. So they love bomb you, and they have mastering sex with you. And many of you that are Christian, you notice you've let your standard down. You're not keeping the standard that we as Christians keep. And then some of y'all that are not Christians, you still have high morals, you still have high standards, and all of those characteristics went to limbo once you met the narcissist. You compromise everything, and you are finding that most of the time in the relationship it's a bunch of compromising, especially when you're dealing with the narcissist family. Soon the matriarch or the patriarch comes to the rise, and you see who runs that family. And a lot of times you can find women in control. They run that family, and they are the masterminds behind the family, and they will compete with women that comes in that family. And they break, when they have daughters, they break the men and they compete with the women, because they want the women to know that I am the lioness here and you will surrender. I am the lioness of the pride. I have the babies. I'm with the kingpin, and you are not going to come up in here, even though you with my son. I control this situation, and I control my son. And many of you have noticed that the narcissist, once they go around the parents, your narcissist is either in dominance or they are in submission. She said, yes, in jail is a jet setter. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. These narcissists, that you are a plan. You are a whole plan. When that narcissist meet you, remember, narcissists are intentional. You think they just come out. Very seldom are they surprised, because the way they think, they matriculate into this past tense, and they have the pattern. And that's why a lot of narcissists, you think they're upgraded, and they're only upgraded because they have mirrored what's around them. If they're in technologically savvy group, and these groups are good, or if they're investment groups, or if they are in real estate group, they will begin to mirror their surroundings, and they will become their surroundings. Well, when they take you to the home, and if you don't watch it, the family start to mirror you, and you bounce back and you see yourself, because the only way to get love bombing 100% is to reflect the mirror of themselves, their best selves. And so the narcissist will pull out the best you possible, and then when you express that, the narcissist mirrors that and reflect it. They can never keep it, they can never hold it, because that's not part of their internal. It's part of the external going in to reflect back. It's almost like a empath, except the empath absorb in to keep in. The narcissist pull in to give out, and they reflect it. They don't keep it because they feel they don't deserve the goodness that you are, and that's what makes them angry. And that's why you're wondering why they're getting angry, so because you're showing them up. She said, this is so true. This is how it felt doing my devow. She said his mom started showing her true colors. He said, and she played victim attention every time we were around, because she had to have the forefront. And then look at Indy. Indy said they fight with each other. Yeah, to the brink of death. She said, but when they see you, they jump. Absolutely. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. She said, and this is Sheila. She said, yes, he used to have me watch movies to show me how he was going to kill me. Whoa, that's malignant. She said, but I didn't know until I made it out and the fog cleared. Wow. Indie genius. That is so true. And then Orchard say, yes, they are in competition with you too. All the time. That's why you feel so uncomfortable. You almost don't know what to do. She said, and Joy said, that's true. And then Edward said, trifling souls always has to be contentious. You know, Absolutely. When you are with the narcissist family, you are always the bait. You are always the bait. And they always have water, and there's always fish in the water. And you got to see whether the fish is a snapping fish, it's an electric eel, it's a whale, it's what do you call a stingray, or it is a shark. All of these things that are prone to the water, when you go in their home, you are in their environment. You always become the bait, because they're not going to let you come in and obstruct that environment, and they're going to make it plain. And if you start to lift your voice or say something smart, you'll notice the other members of the families start coming in. They act like they're doing something. They'll pick up a towel, they'll put up paper towels. They're asking, you want a glass of water? And the reason they're coming in, because they're getting ready to attack you. These sharks are saying they're swimming around, and these sharks are saying, if you say one more word out of order, we got you. And then when that happened, you notice the narc always leave, because they're not going to contend with that family, or they'll make up an excuse to get you out of there because they know that you know what is going to happen, and then it's going to tear off their mask. They're no longer covert, they're now overt, they're revealed. Ugh, I had to get some water there. She said, is there any way for an empath to be free of a narcissist for good, such as family or marriage? Of course, with growth. That's why we're doing this conference. You got to come to the conference. You have to register for this conference. Go to destinyhelper@gmail.com. You have to go to this conference. It is really going to help you. It is really going to help you, and you're going to see that when you get this information, it's going to expand your growth. But not only that, you're going to learn how to silence all the background noises and him in on the one voice you want to hear, or him in on the one positive emotion, instead of all of these negative emotions, all of these thoughts that are going on at one time to you. Almost have to grab your ear to just push all that stuff out. Your Destiny Helper .com. Your Destiny Helper.com. Go to your Destiny Helper, put it in your browser, and you can register there. And many of you empaths, especially when you're dealing with the narcissist family, you go in the house and you are just like a sponge. So you already know what they're planning. You can't put your hands on it, but you feel it, because you are like antennas up in the atmosphere. They're trying to hide it. And so when they pick up, those who are used to empaths, when they pick up that you're an empath, they start gray rocking. If you noticed you was picking up the narcissist and boom, you're searching, you don't feel anything, they have discovered who you are. And so then they go silent on you. And so does the family, who have had enough experience with empaths, but they don't want to let you go. Now they are almost obsessed with you, because they know the ability that you have to give fuel is astronomical. And they know that you're going to try to fix everything. You're going to try to work everything, and blaming you, you'll take it. You're going to absorb it, because you think it's your fault when anything fails, because you think that you are there to fix it. Empaths, you are not there to fix people. You are not there to take their responsibility, and you are not there to be blamed for things they do wrong, because you absorb. That's why we want to train you, and it's going to take more than one conference to train you. We're going to train you how to go in, especially the super empath. Super empath is not super because it is the level of power, but it's the level of experience. They done have more experience. So empath, don't immediately think that you are super empath just because you think you display power. No, it's growing. It's like growing from a child to a teenager to an adult. So when you go into this narcissist home and you're with this narcissistic family, oh my God, it can get really, really, really crazy inside of that house. And impact, you almost feel, and most of you, now this reaction, it can be to an empath or not. You almost feel like you want to regurgitate inside of that house. You feel sick to your stomach, or sometimes your bowels just start running off because of the effects the family have on you. You think it's something you ate. You did. You ate the family. You got involved and you ate their words. You ate their emotions. You ate their lies. And then they start pulling you like a pawn. And you notice every time you go there, you get sick, to the point when he wants to go to his family, you do not. You say, you can pick me up in 2 hours or whatever, but I don't want to go. And then when you start talking about that family, you think that you're helping them, but it really makes him angry that you talked about his family, and he know they're no good, and he know that they're going to do crazy stuff, but he's with them. And as a matter of fact, they're in on it. They know, and they help him control you by getting you with them. So he lose power, because even when he's weak, he want his family to back him up, because then they become the strength he need to make sure you stay in your place. And then when you start having children and they're the grandparent, the uncle and aunt, they get so involved in those kids until it's almost scary, because it's almost like they want to parent the kids instead of being the family member of the kids. When they get around the kids, they seem to have more power with those children than you do, to the point you probably thinking, are they doing witchcraft? Why my child do that? I talk to my child all day, they don't do it. They say one word and the child lined up, and they call that because what they give off, their aura is so intense. If you walk in that house and you can't hardly breathe, and it's so thick and dark and clammy until it nauseates you, what do you think your children feel? They feel that, especially if you have a child that is an empath, they don't know what's going on, but they're extremely sensitive. And then you have children, period. Children are very perceptive. They know. So if a child feel like they meeting them and they don't want to go to them, don't force that child to break what they feel. Then they won't trust what they feel. When they feel very uncomfortable, trust them. Let them feel comfortable with not going to them, not holding them, not hugging them, not being kissed by them. It's respect that child, and then that child will feel like they have a right to feel. And then when they feel something wrong, they will respect that element instead of overthrowing their emotions, and they no longer know what's right or wrong. They know they don't feel right. They don't seem right. This family member seem off, especially if there's an incestuous perversion that is with that family. You got to allow your children to feel what they feel and respect that. And the parents, when you go to these families, they gonna feel angry that you don't want the kids to be around them, and they think you're trying to hold the kids from them, but you're not. You're respecting the feelings of your children, and it's respecting their boundaries. They're saying, I don't want these people beyond this place, and the children are feeling very, 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 very vulnerable. They don't feel calm with these people. They feel that they're in danger. Then don't make them hug them, love them. As a matter of fact, keep them away. And what happens is they'll build up confidence, and they'll learn to respect their feelings, and they'll know that you respect their feelings. And then when something is off, they'll trust their gut. They will trust their perception. They will trust their intuition, and they won't give themselves. But if you feel bad that they are feeling bad, and then now you want to make up for it, mom, you're really hurting them. Dad, you're really hurting them. Don't do that. When the family is not received, give that child the right to reject that moment, and then you protect them from rejecting that moment. Sometimes what is wrong with the child is when they was expressing themselves, you wanted to please the narcissist family, and so you forced that child to go hug them. Go hug them. And they felt bad and they went to hug them, but they feel sick. They feel like something is wrong, and they're looking at you thinking, mom don't know, mom is vulnerable. And so now they don't think you're smart. So now the child try to protect you, not to hurt you, when they really want to say, mom, I don't like it when they touch me. I don't like it when they talk to me. Respect that child. Give them the right to reject what they feel wounded by. And she said, and that's the same relationship, the ex-malignant covert narc was in my life. He had with his mother as well. She said, my children always saw through the family members motivation, absolutely. And so what you do is you allow them to feel what they feel, and you never make them feel bad over not wanting to be with them. You respect that. You respect that, mom. That's going to make you strong. Because believe it or not, when your kids start seeing enough, then you start seeing what the children see. Then you start realizing something is wrong here. Why didn't I pick that up? And then you start questioning. That may be how you escape. That may be how you break the tie. That may be how you recognize that this is not a normal relationship. This relationship is abnormal. You suspect it, but now you start getting evidence. And who says it? Vanilla says, I try to honor my mom, but she destroys me and has called my job and said lies. Let me tell you something. We have been taught to respect our parents, and we do, and you can. And it may be that you need to go NC so you can have a job, because nobody's going to pay your bills. Nobody's going to take care of you. And a lot of times, because you've been obligated as a child and you've been taught to be obligated, you've been taught from them how to take care of them. You have been taught how to be fuel for them. And they always taught you when you wanted to resist them that something was wrong with you. You were disrespectful. You're not disrespectful. If you don't do something, you can just be out of here, clocked out from stress, overwhelming stress, and your body's going crazy telling you we got to come from under this. And you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to your body. Just because they're my parents, I can respect you and not come. I can respect you and go NC. You may have to go NC just so you can survive, just so you can have peace. You don't have to be around your parents because they're your parents. You said, well, my parents are aging. Yeah, but are there more siblings? And a lot of times the parent want the one they can get the most fuel out, then they'll make you feel obligated, and you feel obligated, but you have to protect yourself because you bring your kids, you bring yourself, and every time you go to see your mom, it's a catastrophe. It's a catastrophe moment. It is a moment where you lose your peace. You almost lose your mind every single time. And you can never, ever satisfy them. You can never, ever do enough. No matter what you do, they always want more. Then they criticize what you do and they act like you don't care. So the more you prove that you care, the more they need. And you are doing until you so wore out, you don't even have time to give to your children. And Vanilla said, never, no matter what you give to them. Exactly. It will never be enough. It will never be enough. As a matter of fact, the more you give them, the more they're going to accuse you of abusing them. And don't let them see you give something to somebody else. They want that too. They want what you give to your husband. They want what you give to your children. They want what you give to anybody. And they will always say you're putting people before them. And here you are. You done gave everything away but your life. That's the only thing you have left. They want that too. And when we're raised by narcissistic parents, a lot of times we're obligated because we're the child that's our parent. But you notice you're dying every single time they devaluing you every single time. You can't bring your friends over because you can't trust what they're going to say, not even to your friends. And they want to hurt you. They want you to feel like something wrong. They want to belittle you, and they want their friends to look upon you with disdain. They want you to feel like you will never have anything, never make it, and they won't. And then when you give something to them, they don't keep it. They make sure they spend it so you could do it again over and over and over and over and over and over again. And the way they live is every day, every moment. They act like they have no future, and that's the way they will want you to treat them, like you have no future. And Yanel said, absolutely. Yanel said that's exactly the way they are. Narcissistic family are very draining. They're very draining. But if you don't come to the result of what you're dealing with, you're gonna always deal with it. And your mom would look younger than you. You're half her age, and you look old just like her because they're sucking the life out of you. And after a while, your goals and all your aspirations start to suffer like they did with the narcissist because they're taking so much out of you. And then you got a mom that's a narcissist, then that frequency drew you to a narcissist, and now you are building a narcissist family. So what you come out of is now in your house, and you notice special traits about the children because narcissistic children, you can't tell because kids are so devious until they get older. Then you'll notice a pattern. In their teenage year, they're selfish, and every time they always think of themselves. And now you see why they have to get into an age. Usually they say they have to be above 18 for you to recognize, even though you can start recognizing some traits at 16. When you get kids that are killing dogs, or you get kids that are selfish, or when they come around, division happen. You need to take a note of that. When they build a present that is really an destructive present, and it always happen when they come around, then their life is talking to you. You may have a narcissist in the making, and they're slowly expressing themselves, and they feel good. They don't even feel bad when people get hurt, or when they hurt their friends, or they're trying to triangulate on their friends, and you're trying to bring correction and bring a stand, and they be like, yeah, mom, whatever. And then next thing you know, they still doing the same thing. There's something wrong with that picture. And a lot of times we fail to diagnose our family because they are our family. We let them get away, but they got all of the typical traits of a narcissist, and they're old enough to be recognized. She said, yeah, it can affect your life. And Sheila said, I can't stand the energy yet. It's negative. It's negative. And it'll pull out of you. And Indy said, that's all of it. It is energy. Yes, ma'am. Negative demons. This is Indy. And then Sheila said, I don't tolerate it. See, the only thing about not tolerating is you get frustrated when they don't have change. And so you cause a narcissistic injury, and they think about revenge. They think about revenging you the whole time you're gone, and they don't stop thinking it. They don't stop thinking it until they get it. And once they get revenge, then they settle for the next round of battle. And that's why you can say, Mom, I thought we've already dealt with that. Mom, you always talking about that, because they don't feel like they wounded you enough. They don't feel like they hurt you enough. And sometime when you are in their house, they're watching you, but it's not like you a different watching. You feel their eyes on you, and you turn around, and it's almost like this animalistic stare, and you look them in the eyes, and it is filled with hate. And it's almost like the eyes that they look at you with has a voice behind those eyes, and they're telling you, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you back for it. And you get this eerie feeling like you did when you was a kid. You got this eerie feeling, and it was almost like a wolf in a dress or a wolf in pants, and they look at you as if they could tear you to shreds right there. That's when you have to be careful. And malignant parents that are narcissists can be very dangerous, especially when you was raised in abuse and you finally grew out of it by leaving. And then when you go back, they still feel like they can do it, and they don't want you to do good. Nicole said, yes, pure evil. Indy said, first knock was Satan. Oh, the nature of it is astounding. The energy of it is astounding. Indy said, yeah, that's Satan. And she said, it's wicked, guys. Absolutely, absolutely. And Indy said, you done stepped in the war zone. Absolutely, you stepped in the war zone. It's a fight. It's a battle. And when you step in this war zone, oh my God, they call it the sweat shop because it make you sweat. You're popping sweat with fear. You're popping sweat with doubt. You're popping sweat fighting. You're popping sweat. You're trying to balance your system. Your system is all upset. Then you get a headache, and it's like you get throbbing in the ears and behind the ears. And then you find yourself having a problem breathing because the atmosphere is so thick. And when you get outside, it's like your lungs open and you take this big breath, and every now and then you just have to leave. You can't stay there. You have to leave and get yourself together, and sometime when you're there, it's like all of these things are there. You feel other things. You feel other entities sometimes that is there in that house, like they can just speak in the moment, and maybe some have. And Nicole, Karen Smith Roberts, absolutely. Hello, Karen, are you on? And Karen says she said, predatory, empty soul stare. Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, it doesn't look at you, it looks through you. She said, yeah, they hold grudges and plan to punish you without you even knowing. My mother does. She said, I keep trying to wake my father up, but he joins her in the attack, but yet complains to me about her. But you got to remember, your father is a flying monkey. He's with her, so he feel obligated to her, even if it's attacking you. And then when he get with you, he said, I'm sorry, baby, I don't mean to do this. It's almost like he's under a spell when he's around her, because he's there at the house when you long gone. He's still there. So he gives himself. And that means that your mom, she's the dominance. So the dominator is taking everybody else and causing them to submit. And if he's not a narcissist, he's definitely submissive. He's submissive to her. He loves her because they are addictive. You are addicted to them. And the more you're around them, the more the addiction weighs in your life, the more intense the addiction, because they get their loyalty out of your addiction. And your addiction makes you obligated, and your obligated will make you fight the closest people to you, your loved ones, because you feel bad. If you feel like you're going to lose them, you will join sides with them. And in your mind, even your mind is telling you, this is wrong. You are wrong for doing this. And guess what? You will still do it. You will still do it. You won't stop doing it. And you feel obligated to do it. And they know you're going to do it. And they got so many years under their belt in experiencing your loyalty. Let me see, what else do we have? Guys, we have 10 minutes. She said, yes, I'm 41. She said, I'm 41. And what did you say? It went up on me. You're 41. I think you said, and finally done. Okay, so are you in a no contact zone, Yanelle? And Christine said, oh, yes. She said, even my siblings hate me. She said, LOL, my brother's just now waking up because my mom mask is slipping on him and I am the scapegoat. Let me tell you about the scapegoat. I did a video. Go look at my video about the scapegoat. The scapegoat is one of the primary. They're one of the greatest ones. I don't know why I always do this, guys. I always do this and I can't. And I try to undo it. Okay, that didn't work. There you go. I'm learning. The scapegoat is one who will voice out and speak out. And the scapegoat is one that would disagree with the narcissist. And the narcissist hate the scapegoat because the scapegoat see the narcissist. They never walk around with a mask, and sometimes they just pull back because they get beat so, get misused so. And sometimes that scapegoat will speak out, and then sometimes the scapegoat say, I'm tired of being abused. I'm tired of this. I'm not going to say anything else, because the narcissist is waiting for the scapegoat, and the narcissist hate the scapegoat. Can you understand what it's like to grow up with a family that's supposed to love you and they are the one that hating you? And Orchard said, I'm just starting to recover from that addiction. She said, not that I couldn't, what was that? Fall ever, but I pray. She said, my ex lives far anyway and has not contacted me in over 2 years. Let me see, but that goes back to, I think it was Sheila or Nicole. It goes back to what they're saying. The narcissist was gone for over 2 years, and then they showed back up with a Hoover. You got to realize the narcissists feel like you're their property at all times. So once they go and play and triangulate it, the fuel is not what they want. And then you come around, and sometimes the narcissists have you on a cycle. You may be between July, August, and September, he will be with you, and then boom, he disappears. So every year around that time, they try to show up, or you can feel them trying to get you through whatever means they're using. You can feel them pulling on you. You can feel them want to reach out to you. You may get a phone call, you may get a text that has nothing to do with anything. They're just testing you to see will you respond. And once you respond, it's on. Then next you get a call, next you get a text, next you get an email, next. But if you don't respond, they figure, you know what, they're still holding on, they're still strong. I better not take it like this because they may injure me. So they will back off. And that's what you need them to do. You need them to back off. So a 2.5 year Hoover, no contact is still early. Very early, believe it or not. She said, yes, he showed up and tried to kill me. She said, please pray, please stay no contact. Absolutely. She said, my daughter would be so mad if I ever would fall for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's amazing. You know, we talk about the children of the experience of a narcissist in a freedom time. And that means that the child done went through and the parent finally got free. Well, look at the residual results. They now need therapy. You know, they need a psychiatrist, psychologist, and they are dealing with PTSD or CPTSD. They're dealing with brain trauma. They're dealing with physiological effects of being around that narcissist. And they are dealing with fears. They don't trust anybody. And even if they meet somebody, they put these persons with the narcissist, and there may be a good person, a person that will love them, care for them, but they can't trust it because they still got the narcissist. They're locked into their past and they think they've moved on, but they don't move on because they're jumpy. You know, they're accusatory. They think some people don't like them, and they're paranoid. All of these is a result of the relationship, mom, that you probably had with the narcissist, and you have to stay away long enough for them to heal. Now look at the ratio. 3 months with a narcissist is 2 years of healing. You've been with a narcissist for 15 years, how much healing that is. That's why these videos are made for you. And what you have to do, you have to listen to these videos over and over and over again. Never take these videos for granted. Never think that you've made it. It's like a doctor has to constantly educate themselves because things are constantly changing. In order to be innovative and stay up on their job and to make sure they're with the times, they got to constantly educate themselves. And in their field of study, it's required that they get so many hours yesterday of new innovative information. So the doctor won't be doing 1960 surgery in 2020. So you have to make sure that you stay up with those videos. Things are happening, things are changing, and each of us as your life coach, each of us as your instructor, each of us as your friend, your family, we stay abreast. You know, we've spent years just like you in a hazardous situation and we escaped. We got over it. God blessed us to get beyond the pain, beyond the trauma. And some of us went through some very vicious things, you know, especially the covert where nobody sees them but the person in the house. Because you got a covert that's the house covert, then you got a covert that is the external covert. Everybody loves the external because they're really nice, but the house covert is a trip, and they may not hit you. There are some supplies they've never been hit. They've never been abused physically, but they get the silent treatment. And sometimes not even so much verbally unless it comes to an undercurrent, but you can feel them. You can feel them, their viciousness, or you look at them and they're looking at you with such hatred in their eyes. It almost sends shudders through your entire being. You got to keep these videos going. And then some of you are going to break off and you're going to do your own videos. Allow yourself to heal. Don't come on here doing videos and you will not heal because another supply going to pick up your pain and you're going to trigger them. And they're not going to be there when you're triggering them back to the pain instead of using the pain from healing. There's some pain that we're going to trigger. We're going to remind you, but it's healing. But there are some pains that trigger you. It's going to knock you back because they're still wounded. They're still bleeding. They're still leaking. And even while they're talking, they're leaking all over the place. You can tell a person in confidence that has been healed and they're moving on. They're saying, come on here, girl. Come on here, guy. Let's move it. Let's do it. When you are been raised in the narcissistic family, we got to demagnetize you to the frequency of the narcissist. How many? Some of you done had 5 of them. 10 of them. That's too many to have in your life. You got to demagnetize, because as long as you're magnetizing narcissists, you're going to do that with your children. You're going to release that frequency, and then you're going to see them with somebody, and it's living your life all over again, because they are magnetizing that narcissist, especially if you have an empath. You got to protect that empath in a certain way, because they got a different level of sensitivity, a different level of magnetism, and a different level of attraction than regular people. Regular people experience it. They can have empathy. They can be compassionate. Honey, the empath draws, they absorb, and they take what they absorb. They carry it, they deliver it, they nurture it. And so this is why you got to know these variable differences. But you got to now look at many of you that have children. You've escaped. Now you got to make sure that child heal. And see, the thing about children are very resilient. It may take you 3 months for 2 years, but with that child, you get them out of that and they start growing out of that. They respond quickly. They respond differently. They're like little sponges. They just absorb all of your victory, all of your energy, and they believe what mommy and dad tell them. And you tell them you are wonderful, you are powerful, and everything that we went through is going to make you better because mom is better. They believe it. They believe it. She said, Narcissist and Jezebel. Absolutely. She said, a spirit of heaven is this a spirit of Jezebel, or is it sensitive? You know, Jezebel, all of the demons have a spirit of heaviness about them, but Jezebel always wants to control the prophetic part of you and overthrow the prophetic part of you. Jezebel hate the empath, and Jezebel hate the prophet in you. That means you can see far, and a person that see far bothers her because you can see your way out of it even though you end it. And then one thing she hates, they hate strength that is able to shield what they want to penetrate you. And you don't allow them to penetrate you because you're shielding it away. You become a walking force field after a while. That's when you know you done had enough. That's when you tell the narc, I'm done. Whatever you do, I'm done. And you grave rock him because he could jump around naked and everything, can flip flop from here to Canada. You're like, oh, whatever. I'm done. When you're done, you're done. And you know when you finish, when nothing works anymore. The narcs know when you finish too. And they come with it. They try to love bombing, it don't work. They try to apologize, it don't work. They act as if they are repenting, they're crying, it don't work. You don't want the family, you don't want the narc, you don't want to pass that down to another generation, and you want out. And usually, once you get that way, out does come. Okay, what else do we have? Sheila said, I tapped into my girls. Absolutely. You have to, and you have to make sure that they understand what's going on because they have just as many questions as you do. She said, does the house covert mean that they are only a narc to their family? And I've been wondering it because my mother, she said, my mother, because she is kind to the outside, but her children and husband get control. No, that doesn't mean that she's a narc only to you. She's a narc outside, but nobody wants the bad behavior. They want to be on their best behavior to everybody else. So they grin at everybody else. They're the nicest, sweetest people. That's why sometimes if you tell them how your mother is, they'll think you're lying because your mom is nice and understanding and cordial to all the people outside, and then when you go inside, she's a bulldog. I mean, she's biting everybody, and she lockjaw your life to her, and nothing moved if you don't get permission. And she go into the Simon said, did you say Simon said? And they start controlling. So the persons that you know as family, they don't know them like that. You know them like that. Karen says, praying for you. Please watch and rewatch these videos. Absolutely, Karen. Absolutely. She said, yes, mommy dear, is even tied the scissors on my guys. No joke. When I was a child. You know, yeah, it's crazy. But you got to remember a narcissist. Once you understand, and I think what happens is we don't understand the narcissist because they're human. They can be nice. They can be giving. But all of it has an ulterior motive. When you're nice because you're nice and you treat people because you respect their humanity. You're kind to them because you respect humanity. And if you're a Christian, you have the love of God shed abroad in your heart. So people make you mad and angry, but you operate different, even mad and angry. And so the narcissists know when you have come to a conclusion. Many of you are going to have to come to a conclusion. You got to put a period instead of comma at the end of the sentence. And when they hoover you, it is no re-engagement. If you don't have children and there's no reason to talk to them, don't talk to them. Stay free. If you're not in business or have children, if you have children, you have to talk to them because the law considers those children as his too. And you don't want to be considered that you abducted the kids and then they take the kids away. You don't ever want to fall into the hands of the narcissist like that. And they are going to do everything they can to turn you off. So until that's what you do, then you go to the law and they ask, why did you take the kids? Then you have no explanation. Then they will actually take the kids and give them to the parent. And it may be the parent that hurts the children. So you want to make sure that you use the maximum amount of wisdom to protect your family. She said, speak, apostle. This is Karen. She said, even with trauma bonding, not drive us to escape. She said, I did it after 33 years. She said, and the air is fresh. Are you listening to this? She said, yes, wisdom, guys. Absolutely. Look, we know what we're talking about. We don't care how people think we're crazy. If you people think that, let them think. We know. We lived it every day, every hour, every second, every millisecond. Come on. You don't allow anybody to tell you your experience that you have lived because they wasn't there. They got the information from your mouth or from somebody else. But you lived it. That was first class. You flew it first class, close and up personal. So don't allow people to make you feel bad about your story or actually something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you, honey. You just went through a bad experience, but we're resilient. We will fall back into who we are, and who we are, the character of who we are will be better now. We got more wisdom, we got more power, we got more authority, we're more assertive, and we will not allow ourselves to go down. And if you're a Christian, you have to pray. If you're a Christian, you find a church. You got virtual church. Commit to church. Don't listen to all this crazy stuff, even in the church world. And then you make sure you read your Bible. You read your Bible. Some of you are not Christians. You got other forms. I am a Christian. I use the Bible. I'm a worshiper of the Lord Jesus Christ. But those of you who are not, you do what you do. You meditate, and some of you have your own form of religion. Of course, I'm going to recommend mine because I believe in it, and it's ultimate to me. And those of you that are categorized and go a different way, you do what you do. But I know what works for me, and I'm going to do what works for me. And what worked for me, Jesus worked for me all day. And the enemy knows that. And so when the narcissist get to you, he stop you from going to church. He stop you from living your standard. And if you notice, after a while, the narcissist tried to become your God. And their family will always intervene on anything that is powerful to your parents will always intervene. They always want to make sure that you are under-marketed in the things that you love and care for. They were invaded. They get sick. Something is wrong. They got a doctor's appointment. And then once they get what they want, they seem to be walking around pretty good, doing pretty good, watching the TV, laughing. We were just crying a minute ago. So what we got to do is we have to take our life back. We got to be responsible for our own life. We have to be the CEO for our life. We have to be the major defender of our life. You got to be the founder of your life. Once God give that to you, then gift yourself with taking authority in your life. You know, you didn't know that the narcissist was the narc and you got trapped by them and you got many years, but these videos are wake-up calls. We are alarm clock, and we sound so loud that even when you try to go back to sleep, we bang this word and we bang these principles in you until we wake you up, and we tell you, wake up and live, wake up and live, wake up and live, wake up and live. And don't feel obligated to a parent just because they're a parent at the expense of your life. You're dying going there. You're dying. You got to live. Stop feeling responsible to die for them. Jesus did that. Now you live for them. And sometime to do that, you may have to get away. Get your children away. Get your grandchildren away. Stop taking your grandchildren there, letting them be abused and used and emotionally stroked out. And they're looking at you like, why do my mom take me there? Why do she take me to pain? You take them to pain. Why do my mom take me to places that hurt me? Because, Mom, they may ask you that when you get older. Please have an answer for it. Please. What other question we have here? Yeah, Natasha's Touch said, yes, wake up and live. Absolutely right. You have to. You have to. A narcissistic family is grueling, guys. It's grueling. And nobody's going to see it like you because they're always going to put their best front on for everybody else. But then they're going to show you they're going to show you their real face because they're going to live without the mask for you. And listen to what Karen said. She said, stay strong. Life is better, not free. She said, keep secret journals of all of the ugly. She said, evil time with the narcs is good. She said, and a reminder when the addiction hit, wanting the narc, stay free. That's really good, Karen. And that's the way it is. And that's why they spend time making sure you are obligated. So when you want to live, when you want to leave, you feel guilty for leaving. You're saving your life. And you have to take your life back. Nobody can live your life but you. And if you don't take responsibility for it, then you'll die for not doing that. Don't let your dreams die. Don't let your goals die. You stay alive. All right, guys, we have been here on our time. I like to do an hour program. We are 5 minutes, 17 seconds over. And I hope that you all enjoy this video. I pray that you will stay strong and keep listening to these videos. If you're on this video and you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, that means you're going to subscribe, and then you push the bell, and the bell that you push is going to make sure every time I come on, you will be alerted. You will get first rights to everything that I do. And I'm telling you, we are in your corner. And I speak for my daughter, Dr. Carmen Bryant, which many of you know. She does overcoming narcissist abuse, and she is really, really awesome. And many of you are with her live on Sundays. That's why I made sure I did Thursday. I didn't want to touch her time because she's doing an awesome job. She thinks about you all the time, pray for you all the time. And so we are believing God with you. She said, thank you, Apostle Love Angela. Well, God bless you, Angela. Thank you for being with me. I am so grateful. She said, God bless you immensely. Thank you, Nate. Is that is that Manya? Thank you so much for joining me. And Joy said, hope you all have a great day. She is awesome. Joy, thank you so much. Natasha, Dr. Carmen Bryant, overcome narcissist abuse. Absolutely. And LDGN, thank you, Helen. God bless you. You are so welcome. Nicole said, I hope you have a good night. Y'all are so sweet. I follow your daughter too, and she's real good too. She's excellent. She said, that you I need. God bless you. She said, thank you. And Karen, that's my friend right there. She said, yes, stay away from toxic families. Don't even give your children things negative to say about us in therapy. As a result, that's good because that's what's going to happen. She said, God loves you, Apostle. I received that. She said, Dr. Carmen Bryant is great. Yes, she is, Nicole. Very, very good. She said, Apostle, I've been waiting to sow a seed, and I actually catch up with you. Don't have What your PayPal? Okay, Tasha, are you still on here? Tasha, if you still on here, say yes. She is my moderator. Tasha, Natasha's Touch. If you still on here, say yes. Karen said, God bless you. Christine said, yes, you two are helping many and have been so crucial to my, Tasha, could you put my paypal.me/Apostle Helen. Do the Destiny Helper one. Do the Destiny Helper one. PayPal.me, Destiny Helper. Thank you so much. You know, God is so awesome. God is so good. Let me make sure I'm giving you the right one. Oh, y'all, I want you your best. You can really get hurt in this relationship. This relationship can mess your children up. She's another fabulous healing video. Oh, God bless you. But you know what? We make this work. We do this is teamwork. When we come on live, now we're team. We do this. Your thoughts, my thoughts. And look at all the comments you all made tonight. Fabulous. You know, and sometimes you all provoke us because you're going to think of it a way that we didn't think of it like that way. And then when you bring your side out and I add my side and then somebody add their side, we're getting a view of things, and we are getting a view of things that's going to help others, not hurt others. And that's what we want to do. Yeah, so Tasha, put my Cash App up. Thank you so much for wanting to sow into my Cash App. Those of you, you know that you can always give. Those of you who appreciate it, thank you so much. It's always an honor and a privilege. So Tasha, put up the information. Thank you so much. Let me see. There you go. Cash App, Helen Sattler. And then put up the PayPal, Tasha. Cash App, Helen Sattler. Oh, she said, aloha, aloha, my friend, all the way from Hawaii. Yes, that's Karen, all the way from Hawaii. She said, God bless you, Helen Orchard. God bless you. Thank you for joining me. And you know, every Thursday, right after church service, you know, I come to you. So just make sure you subscribe, push that bell so when I come up, you can get that alert and you can join with me. It is always a privilege and an honor to be with you. I am so excited and I love doing the live video. I thank you for for suggesting that I come back, because I really love the live video, because now I get a chance for all of the family input. And you know what? We work together, and we are powerful tools in the hands of God to help each other make. She said, thank you. We needed this. God bless you. Appreciate it. And so those of you who want to give with my PayPal, paypal.me/do Apostle Helen, paypal.me/Apostle Helen. That'll work all day. I love you to life, and I'm going to see you on the next video. Remember to go to your destinyhelper.com and register for the empath conference. That's going to be $80, and in less than 3 weeks we are doing it. Dr. Brian and we're going to do it big, and when you walk away, you're going to be so fat with information about who you are. The narcissist may not even recognize you. Thank you so much. All right, my friends, I love you, and I look forward to us coming together again on the next video. All right. God bless you, and thank you so much. Yeah.